guys, we have to have a talk. Come on in, grab a seat, get your favorite drink, maybe a little blanket or something like that. Some of you aren't going to want to hear this. Obviously, I don't know how I titled this video, but the Challenger has found a new home. And, you know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. But, at the end of the day, it's kind of my choice. And, well, money talks. Now, I know a lot of you guys want me to go take us to a track and stuff like that. And you know what? Honestly, I was getting pretty excited about it, about racing this car a little bit. So we're in kind of tail end of June here. All of our racetracks are still closed. We have unbelievable lockdowns here. And whether you believe it or not, nothing you can do about it. It's closed, illegal, can't do it, you will get fined and all those sort of things. So that's that. July is probably not looking much better. And down into August or whatever, you never know what's going to happen. So in the short term, this car is quote-unquote done and really can't be used. I've never been a big drag car guy. I would have really liked to have gotten it together, taken it to a few test and tune weekends or something like that, you know, in June or July, run it, done a few things, see if I fell in love with drag racing, because again, I've never really done it, just taken, you know, kind of street cars down the track. This is definitely more of that, you know, buy set tires, do the whole deal. And then see if I fell in love with it or not, and then decide, do I want to sell the car or not? Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, it's a really funny time in the world. Cars are selling kind of for an all-time high. I guess people are cooped up and have some money and stuff like that. So it's a good time to sell. I've learned that. I've sold, you know, my blue half ton. I've sold that 56, and this one, guy found me and wanted the car. Local guy, a good guy, really good guy, who's actually close and says I can still use the car for the videos and stuff. So who knows? Maybe down the road we can actually go to the track and see what it can run when it's his car, and maybe he'll let me drive it. We came with a very fair price, I think, for everybody, and made the deal right of first refusal. So if he ever decides to sell it, I said I wanted first dibs, because I do believe this is a very, very solid, good, well-built car. But unfortunately, I am car rich, money poor, and those need to change. You know, we've been looking for a new house for a while now, and a lot of money in the last year has gone into cars to make content and stuff, which is great. I don't have one regret. I absolutely love it. But now it's time to cash out a little bit. And for us here, if the car does stay local, which, as I figured out, it's a pain to get a car across the border right now. It costs a lot of money because people can't just ship it themselves. The border being closed, it has to stay in Canada. Anything's possible for the most part. Be staying in Canada. Our summer or car season or whatever is very short. I mean, by September long weekend, Labor Day, it's pretty much packing up. So we're in the height of it right now. People are excited. People have money. People want stuff. And ultimately, if you're going to sell a car, if I was going to spend money, real money on a car, I'd want it so I could actually enjoy it for the summer. So I do feel a little bit of I owe the seller a certain amount of time with the car. You know what I mean? So it sucks. I really did want to go kind of beat on this thing and drive it and all that, and we just haven't. And the opportunity is not going to be out for the next little bit. So the car ultimately, I think, will be sitting for me for the rest of the summer and probably into, you know, maybe I could hit a September event or something like that, but we're locked down. We can't do much with it. So it'll be a next year thing anyways, for the most part. I think this is a good compromise. The other guy, if we can use it, or at least go see what it can run, I think it'd be great. You know, the original guy who built this car, a buddy of his and his kid have tracked me down and sent me emails about the car and pictures of it in its heyday, and some time slips of it running in the 11s, kind of low 11s. So it's a legitimate car. It's cool, and I'm so happy I found it, and I kind of pulled it out of that storage unit, got her back together, got her fired up, made it run and drive, and you know, gave it a new lease on life, because from what the email sounded, it basically in the mid 80s, it kind of got stuffed behind a barn, behind a machine shed, and the barn fell on it, and then it was out in that open storage unit for about 10 years. And I mean, that's hard on stuff. Nothing lasts the test of time outside. And as you guys know, this thing's not going to sit inside when I have it. So all this work and stuff I've done to it, it's just going to start to deteriorate further and further and further, which is unfortunate, but in my current situation, that's where we're at. Now, hopefully, we can turn this into cashola. We can then get some more property with either, you know, maybe a lean-to or some cover storage for some of the project cars, and actually enjoy the thing, you know, or the next cars and stuff like that. But you can't keep them all. It's not like we're out of cars here. Right behind the camera, we have the wagon, which we got to get going on. I got to work on Danny's car. We need some drivability things there. We still have that 57, which I do want to start on the Black Widow project. I've got a bunch of plans for that. I've been tracking down parts with it. I really want to do that. There's a few other cars on the roster I'd like to buy yet, which I haven't found. Those all take money. And we still have the C-Can full of the Cobra and the Nova. Those haven't seen the light of day in quite some time now. And I mean, honestly, I haven't driven hardly at all in the last year or two. So I became very car heavy, and then always the first car you get done, you want to drive that. You forget about your old cars and they just sit. So, call it an excuse, but it's what's happening. Yeah. So, you know, we'll do kind of one last walk through the car. I did promise my buddy Gord over at Speed Evo Coach and Chassis Works there. He gave me the wheels and tires for this thing, and he wanted to burn out of it. So, I don't know if I still want to keep driving it around. I probably should a little bit, just to kind of put a few more miles on it, but I don't have the money in my pocket yet, but a deal's been made, and I'm kind of in this limbo situation right now. But it's my car. I'll beat on it for a little bit more, and hopefully I don't break it, but if I do, I'll fix it. That's the way it is. But I want to show you guys a few more things as to why I don't think this car is for me long term, I should say. It was very fun to own, and I'm glad someone else is going to own it, but I just don't think it's for me. Okay, so let me show you a little walk around of why I think I'm the wrong caretaker of this vehicle going down the road. So I've washed it, I gave it a polish. I took a lot of the decals off, but I left it faded because I like that. And hey, the new owner, do whatever the heck they want. Now, this is a very, 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 very solid and original car for what it is. Now, that being said, I mean, these Dodges all do the same. So we got vinyl top, which means this, we have a hole. The other side isn't as bad. And, you know, we're just starting to bubble up, and we're having some issues. Now, it's solid. It's not going to affect anything. But if this can't be stored, you know, out of the elements, it's not going to get any better. You know what I mean? And it's livable right now, and you could probably drive it for many years, keeping it that, like the ratty muscle car if you're in, you know, California or Arizona or any of those places. Or, I mean, again, if it was under something, anything, I don't have those options without spending hundreds of dollars a month, which I already do for the Cobra, and I just I don't want to be doing it anymore. So that's an issue. You know, same thing with the way the deck lid is, and you know, I guess you get to seal a little better and all that, but the trunk floor, I fixed the one space, but it's, you know, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse if it's not properly maintained, which, as you all know, that ain't my style. The paint and the look of this thing, I feel like it's hit the pinnacle of it looking the best it's gonna look. Now, when it was a race car, it had its own look. I'm fine with that. Not my jam, you know, deckled up with the big tires and like an actual race car. I feel like I put it to as much of a ratty muscle car as it can be. The paint still comes up nice and stuff like that. You can only do that so many times, you know. The tops of the fenders and the deck lid are really had it. The paint, you know, it's chipping and stuff like that. And it's honestly, it's getting worse than it even was when I had it last year. You know, it's flaking. That's just from one winter sitting outside. I had a car cover on it and all that, but it's not going to protect it from the elements. The main issue, you know, water getting in, going down, water getting in here. This thing, the rear carpet gets wet when it rains. Same actually with the satellite, which, and I put a full Florence satellite. That could be in this car's future, which I just don't want it to be. Those are the #1 reasons. Now, if this was a Camaro, like a 67, 89 Camaro, well, it'd be a little different, because I kind of like those, and it's been a car I've wanted for a long time. This car came up as a deal. I thought it'd be fun to build, which it was a great time. I can say I owned it. I got lots of pictures and footage, and I got the stories and all those things. And you know, I met so many cool people. A lot of you guys helped out big time with it, which is awesome. But you can't keep them all in this one. I just don't see being a forever car. And well, we got some forever cars. The 55 I wanted forever. Danny's car, that 57, that was huge on the channel for us. The Nova, my old man bought me. The 47, that was my first car I bought when I was out on my own. Just that quick list is 4 cars that I can't sell. That's more than most people have for hot rods, and those are just my keepers, of which you haven't hardly seen any of them on the channel in the last little bit. So that's where we are. Anyways, we're in the garage. Maybe we'll do a little burnout here. This thing with the spool and the broken garage floor, she likes to exit stage right. We'll see. We'll do a little burnout. Maybe we'll go for a drive, maybe I won't. We'll see how it goes, and I don't know. On to the next one. If you guys really want to see it, make sure you comment below and all that sort of good stuff. And we can strong arm the new owner into beating the hell out of it. Because I tell you, having someone else beat on their car and break it, it doesn't affect me at all, that's the trick. It's like having a friend with a trailer. You know what I mean? Having a friend with a race car. Alright, got a little heat in here. Let's see what happens. Wow. This one really blazes tires. We'll be right back. Wow. Let's kind of let that smoke dissipate a little bit. These tires smell funny, these old Pro Tracks. They don't smell like burning rubber. They smell like... This thing's a ripper. You know, I was just telling Danny when we shut the camera off, this thing is cool, I'm gonna miss it. But then she told me how much money I was gonna have in my pocket next week, and I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't hurt as bad. So, well, that's where we're gonna leave it. It's supposed to be crappy weather the next like 3 days in a row. It's actually just sprinkling a little bit of rain earlier, so I don't know if we're gonna drive it a whole lot. If we do, we'll put it at the end of the video. Otherwise, this is where we're gonna end it. And I guess we'll probably do a farewell video of it when the guy takes it and kind of stuff like that.
I will remember you.
A little short or something like that. We'll have a bunch of star wipes and all the memories of this. How mad I was. You know, I brought this thing home and I thought it'd be a nice easy project. Motor was seized. Heck, got new pistons put in it. All the screwing around and all my... Man, this can't be good for me standing here. But, you know, all the screwing around with the ignition and this car fought me so hard. This is the classic. The next guy's gonna buy it after the first guy spent his life savings and time trying to get it going. It's a cool car. It's an E-body. It's a Mopar. I'm gonna be 50% less Mopar guy. I already feel better. It's like a weight off my shoulders. Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. Love every last one of you for watching the ads. I know it's a pain in the ass, but ultimately you get the fun stupidity like this. And I don't know what the next car is. I got lots of ideas, and I'm sure we'll waste it on something. Alright, see you later.